Kamen Rider Walk!
What game were you playing?
Wow.
You sorry bastard.
With that
Amazon! They had a theme and they ran it into the ground.
Yes.
Who said that? Richie said that.
All that and more this week on Denzicaster. Hello everybody and welcome to Electric City Sentai Denzicaster, part of the ECS network. That's new. This is your host Mike Brown, and this week we are taking a look at 4 more episodes of Kamen Rider Drive. I'll be joined a little bit later on by Dave, Richie, and Travis Cooper. The Coop is returning to Electric City Sentai Denzicaster this week. But before we get in too far here with the development that we are now on YouTube with the ECS network, I figured it might be worth a little explanation as to exactly what in the bloody hell is going on around here. You may have noticed, both on the Facebook page for Denzicaster as well as the Denzicaster website, you can visit us on Facebook at facebook.com/Denzicaster, Denzicaster. Of course, I don't know why I'm spelling it for you, because if you're seeing us on YouTube, our name is on the page and right below that. Or, if you've checked out our Blogspot page, it's denzicaster.blogspot.com, you will see that we are no longer on Podomatic, that we are on YouTube, and our new episodes are debuting on our own YouTube channel, the ECS Network. And what this is, to give you a little insight, I've been part of a few different podcasts over the years, and a couple of them I've produced, and we are consolidating into one YouTube channel, one network, where we're going to be resurrecting an old favorite that was never officially dead, but had gone on an extended hiatus, kind of like the Eagles. And we are having a new home for Denzicaster, and both hopefully with more regular release schedules. Point of this, is to bring you, the listeners, something new every week. That is our plan. You'll get an episode a week, be it of Denzicaster or our now sister show, Rage Quit Radio, which both have had an episode go up on the network prior to you hearing any of this. The ECS network has got episode 11 of Electric City Sentai Denzicaster and the new episode 1 of Rage Quit Radio. But one of the things that we plan to do over time is bring those old episodes onto the ECS network. So over time you may see the first 10 episodes of Electric City Sentai Denzicaster and the first, between all the shows that made up Rage Quit Radio, probably close to 50 episodes of that, eventually make their way into our archives here on this channel. So definitely a lot to look forward to. Plus, there'll be some other shows that we're currently working on, I don't want to say too much about, but we're hoping to bring some more content here to the ECS network. We're basically all about being just opinionated, well-rounded geeks. That's all we are. So, Denzicaster is our tokusatsu show. Rage Quit Radio is the tabletop gaming show. Who knows what you may see in the future. And you'll hear some new voices pop up. And a little more, shall we say, cross-pollinating between the podcasts, where hosts from one show will show up on the other one and vice versa, probably with a little more regularity given the new format of Rage Quit Radio, where now it is a strictly tabletop gaming podcast instead of what it used to be. It used to be all War Machine and Hordes, so which is a great miniatures game by Privateer Press. But now, Rage Quit Radio is strictly tabletop gaming. We cover anything, whether it's card game, board game, minis game, you name it. If it's played on a tabletop, we'll consider it fair game to talk about. And so you're going to hear a lot of new voices there, and if you are into tabletop gaming, I very much encourage you to check out Rage Quit Radio. Of course, if you like tokusatsu or stuff that is tokusatsu adjacent, kind of like, Pacific Rim is not tokusatsu adjacent. Pacific Rim is tokusatsu. But if you like stuff like that, then of course Denzicaster is going to be where you stop. And one more thing, and this is the most important thing, we mentioned this on Rage Quit Radio just a week ago, that is, we need your help. We don't often ask for things around here, but we are asking you now for your help. We want you to tell us what you want to hear. We want you to tell us what you want us to talk about. Not just on Denzicaster, but on Rage Quit Radio, on any of the ECS shows. And trust me, like I said, we have more that we're working on. So let us know, specific to Denzicaster, is there a show, is there a movie, is there something in particular that is in the Tokusatsu wheelhouse or Tokusatsu adjacent that you would like to hear us talk about? If there is, leave a note for us in the comments below. Share, like, subscribe, all those cool things that you do on the YouTubes. So, with that said, and without much further ado, we are going into Kamen Rider Drive, next 4 episodes, where we are going to get to see some more developments. The official debut, not the accidental debut, of Type Formula will be in these episodes. We accidentally skipped, as you might have heard if you'd listened a few episodes back, episode 10, which you'll find on our Blogspot page. We had accidentally seen the debut of Kamen Rider Drive's Type Formula form by way of the Spring Break special with Ninja. But we are now marathoning Drive, trying to get to the end of the show because we want to move on to Ghost and talk about that and some other wonderful shows as well. So folks, without any further ado, it is time to get in gear with some Kamen Rider Drive. Stick around, folks. Electric City Sentai Denzicaster rolls on in just a moment. Hello everybody and welcome back to Electric City Sentai Denzicaster. We are talking about Kamen Rider Drive, the show itself. The actual airing of Kamen Rider Drive, by the time you hear this, is long over. Kamen Rider Ghost has already gone on the air. But
which is interesting.
It is. And as you can tell, we are joined by Richie, and we have Dave the Head in the house.
Hi, I've not watched Kamen Rider Ghost.
I've watched the first couple episodes. We'll be watching it as part of this show eventually.
Can we finish this one first?
Yeah. For those people who are wondering at home, we are not going to actually start talking about Kamen Rider Ghost until after we have finished Drive. Consequently, we really hope you like Kamen Rider Drive, because that's pretty much all we're going to be watching for a little bit. We're going to knock this show the hell out. So,
yay, it's better than the Ninja by a lot!
I've heard rumor that Ninja got good. It's just a rumor.
People lie on the internet.
But it was on Wikipedia, Dave. It must be true.
But Wikipedia's, well, I defend Wikipedia.
I actually do not actually put anything on Wikipedia, so it's not me that's putting out good stuff about the Ninja on there.
Damn,
Truth
that
be told,
was a good joke.
Yeah. Truthfully, I don't think anyone's putting shit on there about Ninja, but I'll put it to you like this, and we occasionally plug other podcasts on here. Superhero Time, which is a very irreverent tokusatsu podcast, and they're quite good. Give them a listen if you get a chance. They boycotted tokusatsu for like 5 months entirely, and that's what their show is. They're a weekly because the only 2 shows they could watch were Ninja and Drive, and they hated Drive, and the other one was Ninja. So they boycotted it, and for 5 months, they did a podcast. It was Superhero Time Presents that one episode of Star Trek.
Nice.
And it was them doing a Star Trek podcast, in their words, in an attempt to further alienate and piss off their tokusatsu-based audience. So yeah, they became a Star Trek podcast for 5 months, and now that Ghost is out, they're giving it another crack at being a Toku podcast, but I don't think they're liking Ghost, so it may go back to being that one episode of Star Trek.
They may need to do a rebranding.
So
this burger I had today on this episode.
But no, we are going to be talking about Kamen Rider Drive. We are, for those people who do listen, we went on hiatus for a little bit. That is what one of your hosts, who happens to do all the editing, getting married, will do to a podcast. So the last episode that you probably heard was the Pacific Rim episode. You will have heard in that episode that I just got married, which is a ball-faced lie. I got married about, by the time this airs, probably about 3 months ago.
To be fair, that video was or audio, not a video, my mistake.
Episode.
That episode was recorded the evening of your wedding.
Yeah, it was recorded on my wedding night. So,
Because many of us were well dressed and had nothing else to do. We were like, let's watch a movie and make a crappy video for Mike. It's not video. God damn it.
I had intended to be there, but I got stuck playing games.
Oh, you terrible bastard. You got stuck playing games. How terrible.
I lost track. I played game, but I lost track of time. Okay.
What game were you playing?
Wow.
You sorry bastard.
Fair enough. No, fair enough. He's playing World of Warcraft. It happens.
Oh, man.
Hey. 1/10% of the human population can't be wrong?
Oh, yes, they can.
Okay, fair enough.
So, I'm pretty sure 1/10 of the human population thinks McDonald's is a wonderful restaurant. They can be wrong. So,
yo, you badmouth the clown. We might have to throw down.
I didn't say they weren't cheap. I didn't say it wasn't food. I'm not sure it barely
delicious,
qualifies.
It's delicious happiness in a box, man. It's called a Happy Meal. It's truth in advertisement.
They're talking about the toys, Dave.
Oh, the toys are crap. The food's delicious.
You know, they do have Happy Meals in Japan.
Yeah?
They call it the Happy Set. Don't know why, but they do, and that's what they call it. But anyway.
They're Japanese.
I've seen the commercials.
Yeah, they
all over Drive.
among other places.
Well, no. Some of the places where I get these shows from, they'll also do the commercials.
Yeah, they randomly translate the commercials and give them to you as a separate part of the download in case you just want to watch the Japanese commercials.
In case you want to live the true weeboo life.
Yeah, well, it's kind of interesting, actually.
Some of them are kind of strange and fun. Others are just make you shake your head.
Sure.
So, folks, we are like 6 minutes into our discussion
Welcome
about
back to
Kamen Rider
Banterhood.
Drive. Yeah. So, 2 episodes of Kamen Rider Drive we just got done watching. We got done watching episodes 21 and 22, which is the debut of Type Formula, also known as those 2 episodes we were supposed to watch before the crossover with Ninja and failed. So,
it's okay.
We have Chase, who has been brainwashed. We have Medic, who continues to be a bitch.
Now with tentacles.
Yes, now with tentacles. We have Brain getting slowly but surely more unhinged.
Pushed out of
the leadership of the Roid Mutes. He's getting pushed out of the inner circle. And we have the official debut of Type Formula.
AKA Mike Brown's favorite costume ever.
Yeah, no. But it is Joe's.
But it's what Joe's been waiting on.
Which I find it kind of sad that Joe's not here. Joe is stuck at work.
I would say I'm sure Joe would be a little sad that he's not here.
Yeah, so I know he's a little sad he's not here. He's stuck at work at the moment. So,
well, we can show him these episodes later.
Yeah, we
So if it makes you feel better, our wandering Ronin is no longer wandering nor Ronin.
Yeah, he has found his master, and they make eyeglasses. So,
cheap plug.
Yeah. These 2 episodes of Drive, what do we think? Because we are now into the thick of some intrigue. In typical Toku fashion, the bad guys are starting to fall in upon themselves. And in typical American television fashion, it's all about a wacky chick. So, what do we think? Don't say it all at once, Rich.
I was about to say, save some for the B-reel.
Well, looking forward for Medic to get her comeuppance, actually. Because she is the one that seems to be twisting the knife as it is at the moment.
Because I assume you've watched all of Drive.
Yeah, I have.
I actually have not. I stopped at a certain point, so I've seen well past these episodes, but not all the way through to the end. I figured I would save the finale to actually watch with everyone else for the show.
It's all new to me.
Yeah, so they don't know shit.
Well, that's a common standard operating procedure anyway.
Yeah. What are you thinking so far out of what we're seeing?
About just the 2 episodes?
Yeah.
I thought these 2 episodes were action-tastic compared to the last few episodes I remember. Mm-hmm. Considering I fell asleep during one of the Ninja marathons we did.
Right.
I've enjoyed Drive. It's not always great, but it has always been okay or better.
Yeah, I think you've made the remark more than once that if this show was on,
yes,
you would leave
it on.
You wouldn't turn the channel necessarily.
I mean, if I walked in and my kids or people I knew were watching this show, I could sit on the couch and go, ham sandwich and Drive. Let's make this happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, to me, this episode seemed a lot of... These 2 episodes, little story arc, seemed a lot of action. It didn't really have any, in my opinion, character development. I know Medic is doing her little evil Machiavellian villainess and twist her non-existent mustache. She's pushing Brain out to make her and Heart's together time better, I suppose.
Yeah, she's developed a thing for Heart, and so I think she perceives Brain's relationship as the right-hand man to Heart as competition to her wanting to spend time with Heart, and so...
And then, I mean, realistically, nothing really happened amongst any other character other than the Kamen Riders and Chase and Kamen Riders and Medic.
Well, I think you do get one other storyline, and we start to see what will become this storyline in earnest at the end of episode 22. Where, so we have essentially this triangle that's going to develop between Mach, Chase, and Kiriko, and with Drive himself siding with her so far. Chase is of the opinion, or Chase is right now brainwashed when the episode starts. In previous episodes, we have figured out that A, he was Proto-Drive. He was the original user of the Drive Belt.
Sure.
Second, he has been programmed. We hear Belt-san's voice in his head, protect humans.
Right.
And he gets reprogrammed to where it will say protect Roidmudes. And so that's why he becomes just a cold-hearted killer now that Medic is the Grim Reaper. But we're winding up where, by the end of these episodes, the programming is broke.
So is Chase.
And so is Chase. And Kiriko believes in Chase because Proto-Drive saved her.
And she said,
started.
I can hear the song of his heart.
Yeah, so a very Japanese statement, I
Yeah.
think. But yes, she, in her mind, and in his heart, he's still the hero that saved her. Drive sees the way this is affecting her and goes along with her, whereas baby brother Mach is, no, he's Roidmude, he's got to die.
Well, see, I like how Go kind of, or is that his name?
Yeah,
Go?
it's Go.
I mean, that's the character's
Yes.
name.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, because I know Drive has a regular name. I
Yes,
just don't
Shinosuke.
Yes, okay.
I just don't always remember it, or any of their names. But I like how Go said to Shinosuke, I'm Kamen Rider, the Eliminator, the fighter. You're Kamen Rider, the saver. You save people. I attack Roidmudes. That's what we are. And I like that. I like that for a moment there, it seemed like even he hates it. He hates that his power is built to destroy the monsters, where Drive's power is built to save the people.
That's a really interesting thought, because I've never thought about that in this show. It's actually an interesting take on Go's character, because that is one thing. You see Go, up to this point, we've never really, other than the Kamen Rider name, which in this show, alternately, and you'll learn this more as we watch other Kamen Rider shows here, the Kamen Rider name alternately goes back and forth between just the dude in the suit is a Kamen Rider,
Right.
regardless of whether he's good or bad. And then there are shows like this one where the term Kamen Rider specifically is the hero. In another show, Machine Chaser would have been called Kamen Rider. They wouldn't have made the distinction. He's
Right.
a dude in armor, he transforms with a device, he's a Kamen Rider. But in this show...
Well, I mean, even in this one, he kind of is. He's proto-Kamen Rider.
Well, he was Proto-Drive, but now that he's a bad guy, he's not
Right.
Kamen Rider anymore. So, in a show like this, it really is interesting to have this distinction where, Drive is a cop. He was a cop before he became Drive. He was picked in part because he is one. We're given that inclination because some of the stuff is, some of the shift cars are designed around emergency services, for crying out loud. So he's the serve and protect Kamen Rider, whereas Mach's main objective was kill them all.
And
if it's a Roidmude, kill it.
And
So
I think-
I like that's an interesting
I think
concept.
part of his arrogant behavior is his shield against what he has to do. See, at first we thought, well, he's just arrogant about it because he's fast, he's young, he grew up in America, here's these stereotypes.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in this one little story factor, you kind of see where he's like, I have to be this way to shield myself from the things I have to do.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty interesting take on the character. Which, sidebar, because I didn't think about it until we were just going, I wonder if his name, like between his civilian name and his rider name, I wonder if it's a tribute to Speed Racer. And I say that because aside from the colors, red and white, it's the colors of the Mach 5, complete with kind of the sports stripe.
And Go is 5.
Go is 5, but in Japan, the name of the show wasn't Speed Racer, it was Mach Go Go.
Yeah.
Which was Mach 5 Go.
That's not bad.
So I'm wondering if it was a rib that somebody came up with. If it was, it's a good one.
A rib or an homage?
Yeah, if it was a good one. Anything that you're taking out of these episodes, just storyline-wise, because now you've got the framework of having seen it all at this point.
Yeah, I do.
But divorcing yourself from that a little bit.
Yeah.
What do you see coming out of this episode just from the story? Because I think to a large part, I like what Dave said. The dynamic they're setting up with those two characters, among other things.
Well, yeah, and the dynamic they're setting up between the Roid Mutes as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
yeah, that's very good because
it's
being you compared the three Machs. I'm sorry, the three Kamen Riders, air quotes, as this triangle, but the Roid Moods already are.
Yeah. And it's like both of them are trying to get Heart's attention more or less.
Mm-hmm.
It's just right now Medic seems to have the upper hand.
Never underestimate the power of boobs.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but
or tentacle love in Japanese television. Sorry.
Well, don't underestimate the power of psychosis as well.
Yeah, she's
driving brain nuts.
I'm about to say she has the capability of reprogramming.
Yeah, but he also has the capability of messing it up.
Yeah, well,
which he did
That's
on
true.
Chase.
That's true.
He did mess that up on Chase, so she had to go to something that was stronger.
I mean, I wonder if it's a case of because they've never actually put out there that Machine Chaser is an evolved Roid Mute. The other three are. So I wonder if it's a case of these tricks work on Joe Blow Roid Mute entry level, but when you're something like Heart or Medic or Brain, this trick isn't going to work anymore.
Well, see,
because if not, why wouldn't you just reprogram Brain? So you kind of asked that question. Would this?
Well, they're using the translation is reprogram.
Right.
Okay. So obviously, none of us know what the real Japanese word or emphasis is. We only know the translation of reprogramming. And that by itself leads me to believe that Chase has some kind of cybernetics or computer to be, quote-unquote, reprogrammed.
Well, the Roid Mutes are machine creatures.
Yeah, they are robotic.
They are robotic.
Okay.
All of them.
That I didn't know.
Yeah.
Because they were created by a man. They are robotic, computerized
Gotcha.
entities.
See, I always kind of figured them to be supernatural when they exploded in fire and glowing numbers went everywhere.
Well, I like the thing. We are getting the love triangle. It's basically a very odd love triangle with the Roid Mutes because it's basically a romance and a bromance.
Well,
and
have you noticed?
Brain seems to have a thing for Heart too. So I mean,
it is Japan.
I don't think they've suggested it. Haven't come out and said it, but
we know it's a bromance, but we can't rule out the romance. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Joe Mance. Japan's a little bit more advanced in some of the concepts of relationships than other societies may be.
Joe Mance is how I would describe
being friends with Joe.
No, that's how I would describe Budnick's feelings toward the formula suit. So
and the beer he brought with him. Okay.
So speaking of the formula suit, this is its actual grand debut.
Well, I wanted to jump back to the triangle thing.
Sure.
See, personally, I hate Chase's character because it's realistically a two-dimensional cliche in a show that's barely beyond 2 dimensions to begin with, and that says something, in my opinion.
He is essentially, the way that he's been built up to this point in the show, he is the loaded gun. It depends on who points him somewhere.
So,
and that's about it.
You guys saying, like, it's a weird romance. Well, what's this weird romance coming up now? She might be saving him at the end of that episode where she finds what looks like Chase in an underpass while it's raining.
Oh, it's definitely Chase. It's the same costume.
Well, I mean, it looks like him. We don't know if it's really the robot version thing of him, or if it was a person that the Roy was copying. So you guys have a little bit advanced knowledge, so you can think, hey, you're so far off, or hey, you might actually guess it. I'm looking at this not going, well, Roy copy people.
Right.
And if he was Proto Drive and working with the Roy what's to say he wasn't both? That he couldn't have been a human that was copied, that he was a robot programmed, who knows? But anyhow, she kind of falls in love with him, maybe. And then brother wants to protect her from him, so there's the weird triangle. I don't know. I find that kind of annoying. But then again, I'm the older sibling, and I don't have, no one's ever tried to protect me from someone I cared about.
Right.
I've been free to make my own good and bad decisions in life.
Right.
So I don't... That's why I see it as annoying. I see it annoying on a personal level. If I was her and I liked dumbass in purple riding a motorcycle and goofy little brother came back from America, I would tell him to sit down and be quiet.
Well, and now this is where we have to take a social dynamic too, because it's
Japan.
It's Japan. And so in that family dynamic, yes, he's the younger brother, yes, she's the older child, but he's the oldest son. And so that carries more weight. And as someone infamously put it in one of these Toku discussion podcasts, not our show, but another one, she can't have an opinion, a character, or be strong because boobs. So, and it's Japan, which I kind of hate that.
Yeah.
I understand it to a degree because it's a cultural norm.
Well, dude,
but I really don't. I really dislike it.
When they defeated Chase and they got his motorcycle, and it's sitting there, and she's looking at it, and I'm like, now's the time to step up. This is where you get to be Kamen Rider, whatever, and help out be the Trinity, be the heroes.
Well, so...
And purple would look so good on her, I'm just saying.
So, the full-on debut of Formula. We've already seen the suit because we goofed up and watched the spring break special 2 weeks early. But the full-on debut of the Formula suit, this is where we get to see that apparently it comes with great risk, that he's using it without any training whatsoever. But here's all the pyro, all the particle effects, everything, and here's the suit.
And he gets whiplash the first time he uses it.
Yeah. So,
but they do explain it properly, because Formula One racers train to be able to withstand the G-forces caused by their cars.
Yeah,
and he hasn't had that training, so he gets hurt for using it.
Which I do appreciate that in this show more than a lot of Kamen Rider shows that use the man in the suit formula, as opposed to the old school riders who are all cyborgs, as opposed to any of the supernatural versions that have permeated today or anything like that. In this concept where it really is just a human being in a suit, I do appreciate the idea of them saying, no, the suit can hurt him. We can build the weapon that's so advanced that a human shouldn't be using it.
I mean, Shinosuke is, for all intents and purpose, a Tony Stark or Bruce Wayne. He's a dude in special equipment.
Yeah.
That's it.
So the idea of the suit being so advanced it can hurt him, and that he's going to have to train, he's going to have to get better. You don't see that in a lot of shows, period. Not just Kamen Rider, but period. Outside of something like Iron Man or like Batman, and where they have a major motion picture, a multi-million-dollar budget, and so on, where they can do that.
The whole story factor of changing the suit in the Batman Nolan Ryan series was he wanted to be able to move, be quicker.
Yeah, because he was getting hurt wearing the suit he was wearing. By the way, make it resistant to dog bites.
Yeah.
So
stupid dogs.
But my biggest gripe with the suit is and always has been the look. I like the color scheme. I like a lot of the suit, but just the chest piece throws me off. The fact that if he was a Transformer, I'd buy
does.
it.
I mean, he looks like he's about ready. He looks like he's at step 2 of a 5-point transfer.
I'm waiting for Optimus Prime to scream Transform and roll out.
He does. He looks like a Generation 1 Transformer. It's ridiculously that part is the only part that is fun about it. Beyond that, I just don't give a damn. I don't hate it, but I really don't care. I mean, in comparison to all the other suits, realistically, they're all kind of stupid.
Yes, but there's stupid, and then there's stupid.
Sure. You're going to find things that you find more stupid than I do.
There are dumber suits than this one in Kamen Rider. I've seen them.
But, okay, hold on. There's Drive.
Right.
Or Speed. Type Speed.
Type
Tech.
Which I'm not a huge fan of. Technic.
Type Wild.
Right.
Formula.
Dead Heat.
And Dead Heat.
Right.
So he has 5 suits.
Yes.
And we agree that at least 2 of them look like Generation 1 Transformers.
Yes.
Because the one looks like a Constructicon and the other one looks like the Formula Autobot, whose name totally escapes me at this moment.
Yeah. So
in mid-transformation.
Right.
Yes.
In mid-transformation.
Well, I mean, they had a theme and they ran it to the ground.
Wait. Say it again, because that's your punchline on this show.
They had a theme and they ran it to the ground.
Yes.
Who said that? Richie said that.
But because they plastered basically stickers all over, look like the stickers for
now
the other.
I can
ship
see
cars.
that a lot better in this episode than I did in the movie.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember you bringing that up.
Right.
But there, it was like...
They actually lingered on it a little bit.
Wrecker, whatever, tow truck, the solar
Max
flare.
Yeah. I will give them credit for this. I've always said when it comes to tokusatsu or superhero shows, what have you, if you're going to be stupid, fuck it, be stupid. And just go with it. If you're going to do it, be dedicated and do it all out. I don't think the sponsorship stickers bother me because he's supposed to be a race car.
Right.
So
I liked it.
I'm like, okay, if you're gonna go out, go all out. Why not? So that part doesn't bother me any.
I like the rig more than I did anything else. If we're talking about gadgets, equipment, toys,
the trailer cannon.
Yeah, the big rig that comes out and becomes a huge cannon when you load a handful of cars into it. Maybe because my dad drives truck, I have a little bit more favoritism towards rigs.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of those old Matchbox carrying cases.
Yeah, that you put
that
your
look
cars
like
in.
the tractor trailers.
And I'm sure that
was probably kind of the point.
I'm sure the toy is.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably exactly what the toy does. So,
and then if it launches cars at people because spring-loaded, that would be even excellent.
It's Japan. That could happen.
It's like
they don't have quite the toy safety regulations we do. So,
hey, if your kid's dumb enough to put his eye out with a launching car...
although if that toy were to ever get released internationally, I'm pretty sure that it would never make it to Australia. So,
or it would come with eye patches, one or the other.
Well, no, in Australia, they actually, as a sidebar, they came up... Transformers does the Masterpiece figures, the really high-end collector's version of the Gen 1 characters.
And they had spring-loaded little weapons?
No, it wasn't even that. They did a Masterpiece Megatron. So he transformed into the handgun.
Right, and
they
it looked
banned,
surreal.
It looked so much like a legit handgun that they banned it in Australia because Australia's ban on firearms. So there were literally at one point the Australian police were seizing it when it came off the boat or off an airplane. They would seize it and destroy it. You bought it, too bad. You imported an illegal item.
Yep.
So hope you didn't pay more than a week's worth of pay on that thing. Cause
you got to remember, in the late 80s, early 90s, there was a big sweep of changing the way toy guns looked in America because too many people were using them to A, commit crime, and B, getting hurt because they were holding it, and police couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah. So that's where the orange caps on the end and things like that start.
Or they got to the point where toys started getting painted orange and
you can't
neon green.
You can't for a long time. You couldn't even paint them black. So they couldn't even be painted the same color as a real gun. So,
which is a big reason why Megatron ended up becoming a tank or a big starship.
Of course, it apparently never occurred to the authorities that spray paint exists. But anyway, so
not to mention that Megatron as the gun looks awesome. Megatron as the robot from the gun always looked retardedly bad.
Yeah. So, final thoughts on these 2 episodes of Drive before we kick back, relax, and
watch
dive
the
into
next
2?
For Drive, not really. I always walk into Drive with, hey, there's going to be a car theme thing, and there's going to be henshin. So, if we can add a cheeseburger somewhere in there, I'm good to go.
Rich?
I'm just looking forward to seeing Dave's opinion of the rest of the series, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, and so am I.
That's actually what I enjoy most about this, is why I don't usually say a whole lot during these things.
Right.
I just like listening to particularly Dave and Joe.
So essentially you're our live studio audience.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, well, fair.
Yeah.
But he does get to bring a taste of actual, I was going to say competence, but in the three of us,
competence is a good word in this instance.
in the three of us, he knows what's going on and can kind of counterbalance our kookiness with some real future knowledge.
We've never hidden the idea here that the two people, pretty much the only two people on this show that are Toku fans and are always knowledgeable on what's going on are me and Richie.
Right.
Which I think is part of what I really like about doing the show, is because it's getting the opinions of people who don't normally watch this stuff. So, and why I'm actually looking forward, you will have heard the Pacific Rim episode by the time this gets released. I actually haven't finished editing it yet, so I'm looking forward to listening to it.
Huh.
I got through the preamble where y'all said perhaps Mike is just going to say, "Fuck this is terrible," and never put it on the air. So,
well, you've already committed it to it.
Yeah, no, it's going to happen. It's going to go on the air. So, all right, folks. So stick around. We're going to take a brief break. You will hear some music that is not copyrighted by Kevin MacLeod. Just a real quick thing between breaks. We'll be back in just a minute, folks. Stick around. Alright, everybody, welcome back to Electric City Sentai Denzicaster. We've got 2 more episodes of Kamen Rider Drive, much to the consternation of at least one person in this room. That's pretty much what we're going to be watching the most of for a while.
Do I have to?
Yes, you have
No.
to. Depends on whether or not Roger blocked you in when he came in. So, folks, we are joined by 2 more voices in addition to Richie and Dave the Head. We are also now joined by Roger and the triumphant reappearance for the first time, I think, in 10 episodes of Travis Cooper.
Woo!
So,
Hi.
yes, the Coop has returned.
Break out the flags.
The energy
Well,
is palpable.
we gotta have a Senate now.
There's
That's
plenty
right.
for this show.
That's
What,
Trav.
like a second or third cynic, you mean?
Well, now, to be fair, I like Drive.
Yeah.
Richie likes Drive. Dave can tolerate Drive whether he says he can or not.
If we were going to have to say, do you like Drive or not, I would actually have to say yes. I like Drive all right.
Yeah, you seem to like damn near anything we put on the screen at this point.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's Coop.
It's been 15 episodes. I was hoping something would have gone and improved since then.
A lot
We'll
did.
get to that.
Keep hope alive, Trav. Keep hope alive.
And stay tuned. Next episode of Denzicaster, we'll be watching Kamen Rider Amazon.
With hope. With that, it's
Amazon! So, folks, we have just got done watching episodes, let's see, this would have been 23 and 24, as Dave keeps me on track with the episode count.
I like counting.
So,
way to go, Dave.
episode 24. I
was in a drama in high school, and they were like, "We need a treasurer." I was like, "I'll run for that." What are your qualifications? I've been in public schooling and I know how to count. Well, no, go with someone else.
Didn't get it.
Okay, folks, these 2 episodes of Kamen Rider Drive basically was let's make Mach stronger, was pretty much the theme of these 2 episodes. Type Formula debuted in the last 2. Type Formula is the badass new upgrade for Kamen Rider Drive. We have seen now the Dead Heat suit in action. It is originally the sort of mid-season upgrade for both riders. It is now almost exclusively for Mach, except for when Drive really needs it. And the limit to the Dead Heat suit was always the idea that it draws on the same power that the Roid Mute Leader Heart uses, which is the dead zone, and that whoever uses the Dead Heat suit, there's a time limit. There's only so much they can do before
They lose control.
they lose control, which they signify by the tire blowing out.
Which I always thought was funny because when Go lost control, he got exhausted.
Right.
When Shinosuke lost control, he went kind of berserk mode.
Well, and Mach did too the first time.
Oh, okay.
I
I didn't remember that part.
But they now they've shown that the upgrade apparently for Kamen Rider Mach's Dead Heat form is that, well, he's stubborn enough to go through the tire blowing. And
The power of believing in yourself there, old pal!
and so he becomes Kamen Rider Mach Dead Heat Burst form. That's a long ass way of saying it. But they're not known for short names for
So
upgrades.
he
Family.
sets his tire on fire. That's how it does better.
Because who needs tires?
Well, he purposely blows out the tire to get more powerful.
Correct.
And
Which
in this
is
episode,
dumb.
okay, and in this episode to burn through the poison.
Oh yeah.
So they actually gave a reason for him trying to do this. It's basically Belt-san explaining to him he wants to get stronger. I need to be stronger. I'm losing to drive. I think Dave, we remarked off microphones, and Dave mentioned, you can see why Mach is frustrated because his belt is supposed to be better. Mm-hmm. And so now we see that in the show, and Mach basically gets talked to by Belt, and Belt's just like, dude, slow the hell down and
Get out of your own way.
Yeah, get out your funk.
Back to basics.
Yeah. So,
Figure out why we gave you the belt to begin with.
yeah, basically.
Belt sound. He's all like, "Oh, make a Kamen Rider out of you."
I love how you were just like looking right at Coop as you said that.
Stare deep into my eyes.
We
Serenade
bonded.
me.
We bonded like the police chief and the
Oh.
and the kid who makes bombs.
And the convicts.
Yeah, so basically this is, and the for all intent and purpose, the B story that motivates the monster for the episode is the Mad Bomber What Bombs at Midnight. So what did we think of these two episodes here and what we saw in those? We'll start with Richie.
Well, I mean, I like the story development with Go.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he's been developing, getting frustrated, and ends up his sister is the one that ends up making him realize what his power is.
Yeah,
I mean, why he was chosen to begin with.
between him and
Yeah.
Belt,
Yeah.
both
Well, Belt gives a hint initially.
Right.
She's the one that leads him to it.
right.
Finally, that.
And they're putting more and more of emphasis on her being almost the moral strong point for the writer team in this. That
Even with Chase,
yeah,
the few scenes that she has with Chase, she's quickly becoming his moral compass and backbone.
right. Raj, what did you think?
I like this. I like the episode that I came in. I came in on the second episode, but I like the evolution of the series. How the characters don't stay the same; they're going to keep evolving along the timeline. Because if he couldn't get stronger, he needed to go back to basics and pretty much make sure he had the basics down before and then the suit would run off his emotion, and that's why the suit chose him. Pretty much, I enjoyed that pretty much. I enjoyed that part. I like the whole bombing Roy Mute and everything like that. So. I like to see the evolution of the characters, how they grow, because mostly in Japanese cinema, you won't stay at one place. You'll go from point A to point B, and that's the depth of the story.
Right. Well, and this, we are getting, with the length of this series, and I like we mentioned before you two guys got here, Coop and Raj, that Richie has seen the entire show at this point. It's 48 episodes on. He's watched all of it. I've deliberately not watched, I think, the last 4 or 5 episodes so that I can watch them with everybody else. This one has waypoints.
Yeah.
So we see Mach get frustrated, and now it's, I believe in myself. Well, this is really stop B. There's going to be a C and D coming.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that for various of the characters. If anybody quasi just has the one note A to B story, it might be Shinosuke. But you get that pretty, pardon the not deliberate pun, it's pretty common when you're a Kamen Rider. There's A to B. When you're the lead in the show. So we'll get the cynic out of the way now. So while Roger has continued his standard operating procedure of coming in while we're watching the thing we're going to be recording, talking about, Coop, you were here, I think, for the first
8 episodes.
Ish, yeah. And now you're jumping back here in the 20s. So
Alright, so I liked the villain for these 2 episodes. I thought he looked cool. He was a villain. He wanted to go and blow stuff up, wanted to go and injure people. He went in after he was brought back, with his poisonous form. He went and did more evil stuff, especially to Go. So, sure, the villain was actually pretty good for these 2 episodes. He was probably the best thing about these episodes, because thematically, the way that they went about going in, having Go improve, was really dumb. like as far as his suit goes, it is important to go and have those character frustrations and for them to go and grow through them. But for him, like the burnout thing, where basically your suit goes and just gives out on you, that's not something that you're supposed to be proud of. That's not a good thing. And yet their upgrade for Go was to say, oh, you can go and make your suit go and break down over and over and over again. That's dumb. This is a car show where you're supposed to have upgrades to make yourself better, not break your car down more and more.
To play devil's advocate here, because I think part of your analysis comes from missing some of the episodes.
Sure.
The dead heat suit doesn't actually break down. The person wearing it does. The suit actually is just getting more and more and more and more power. The person wearing it can't control that power.
He's working through the pain.
Yeah, so that I think that's kind of where they're going in the show. Is it's not that the suit's breaking down or that he's actually less powerful. It's that, no, fuck it, pain or not, I'm going to push through it.
Sure, but in the advice that he went and got from the belt, which was to calm down and to slow down, throughout the entire episode, even after he gets the advice, he does the exact opposite. He goes out and is actually just even more reckless and more over the top. So again, he would adhere to zero of the advice, and supposedly by the end of the episode is now a better hero for it.
Well, the advice wasn't actually to slow down.
But back to
it
basics.
was to remember why we made you a writer to begin with, and that was his confidence in himself.
Yeah,
because he likes to fight bad guys?
Well, reckless
because he's definitely not a hero.
Reckless and over the top is back to basics for
Yeah.
now. But Dave.
Right. Actually, he told him not necessarily to slow down, but stop being impatient. It was the impatience. When Go wasn't able to A, keep up, or B, beat the bad guy in the 1 minute time limit of his special suit like he had been doing, he got frustrated and just kind of quit. Now I need the quick answer. Now I need the quick refix. Fix me a new car, make me a new suit. And that's why when Belt was like, you need to back up for a minute, reevaluate. That's why when his suit blew up, which I agree with you, that seems goofy as hell. But he just moves through it. He keeps on the path, working through it. His arrogance and stuff is just his character personality.
So he's not supposed to be impatient, but he's supposed to be reckless.
No, he's not supposed to be reckless. He just
impatient.
is reckless.
So let me ask a question. Going to the
But
stupidity.
I agree with you. I like the monster. I like the way he had the 4 missile launcher, chest piece, whatever it was.
Shoulder pads.
The darts faster than humans can see. I liked all of that.
To ask a silly question before we get more deeper into your thoughts, Dave.
I don't really have much more depth thoughts.
Okay, well,
That's about as
so
deep as they
about,
do it.
with Dead Heat, mock Dead Heat form, basically doing the exact opposite of what Dead Heat is supposed to do, because it's like, no, if you burst, it sucks. That's a bad thing. It's a bad thing for the suit to overheat and burst. And for that to be how he ultimately powers up, and we think that this is dumb, this is stupid. You know what it reminds me of, honestly? Don't cross the streams.
Yep.
It reminds me of Ghostbusters.
Sure.
We're going to do the one thing you're not supposed to freaking do because it's really bad.
Yep. But it's
And
very
that's
powerful.
how they save the day.
It's also very powerful.
So,
Well, the Ghostbuster analogy was it was dangerous because Egon wasn't sure what would happen.
Yep.
His phrase,
imagine every atom in your body taking separate vacations.
no, that's
Yeah.
if you get hit by the beam.
Oh, yeah, no, it's a complete protonic reversal.
And imagine
Protonic
all life as you know
No.
it ceasing to exist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Egon, face it, was a control freak, and if he had
Sure.
not
And if-
experimented and gotten the hypothesis or the solution
If
beforehand,
he doesn't know what
he
it's
didn't
going to
want
do
to
to
play with
him, it's very dangerous.
Yeah.
But, no, I mean, I will agree with you. It does seem counterintuitive. Let me do the thing I'm not supposed to do and get better. But, to a certain degree, knowing the back part of it, it's more power that's causing the user to shut down. That's something we hit on in the last couple episodes, and something that I really like this show about. Kamen Riders will vary back and forth between being a cyborg or supernatural or various augmentations of human.
Ink and super science.
Yes, sneak and super science. And
Yeah, Trav loves that one.
so
From now on, every time Roger says something, I'm just going to assume half of it is to directly bother Travis.
Accurate.
he trolls Travis when Travis isn't even on the show, as if Travis listens.
So yeah.
So
I don't.
I don't mean to.
Yes, you do.
yeah,
Okay.
but the whole thing of all these various augmented, superpowered humans, relatively few of the Kamen Rider shows adhere to simply the dude in the suit is the hero. It's very few of them subscribe to the here's a regular, ordinary human being, the suit gives him the power, and he has the moral compass and fortitude to see it through. And Drive falls into that category. But they've now been going out of their way to show you that these are human beings, they do have limits, and the suit will hurt them.
Yep.
So,
Think of Go's suit exploding on him, more like if Batman took a shot of Venom.
Alright. The issue that I'm really having, though, is that there are far better ways to go and show someone's mastery over the suit, which is basically what Go is being told and being shown to do.
okay.
But because he does in these 2 episodes is shown working out, trying to make himself
Right.
stronger, all of that. Even after that, he goes and fails. His suit goes and blows him the fuck up. Especially when he is injected with poison. He then gets extra blown the fuck up.
Can I get that as a side dish? I would like some extra blown the fuck up.
How much are we supposed to go and curtail our language in this? I forget.
This is a fucking explicit fucking podcast.
Okay, great.
Just to verify.
So, like, the
Not
way
for
that
kids.
he was going about trying to improve himself actually did kind of go and make sense. I just wish that they went and used a more car-like term, a way to go and basically remove the limits on the suit so that he could go and, keep pushing himself beyond the point, even though he knows that it is dangerous, and that is how he has been portrayed, at least in the 2 episodes I've seen 100% of the time. But instead, they just go and say, okay, because you're being stubborn, you can blow up over and over again. It's like, that's silly.
It's like a car.
It never worked for Team Rocket.
Correct.
Yeah.
So,
It's like a car using nitrous. It's possible the old engine could, then the whole car could explode, but nitrous makes you faster for that X amount of time.
Exactly.
now, we've beat Mach like a dead horse here for a few minutes, so I want to go on to a couple other things. The monster, and I want to get Dave's input on this because I think you're the one who actually brought it up during the episodes. So, in what is not typical fashion, this is Drive, of course, does the now standard Kamen Rider 2-part episode format. Part 1, they blow up the monster. Part 2, the monster comes back, and the reason for that is because at the end of Part 1, we see Brain actually save the core of the monster. And
Yeah, it
bring
went
him
into
back.
his PDA.
Right, it goes into his tablet, and so this is not something we typically see the bad guys doing. We don't typically see them saving and then resurrecting the monsters of the week. Maybe not doubtful because they don't want to, but we don't see it. I think they're going out of their way to differentiate Brain more and more from the rest of the Roidmudes because Medic doesn't have a problem offing a Roidmude.
Yeah, no, she's actually used them as shields and things.
Yeah. But now here's Brain actually going out of his way to save them and try and make them better.
Yeah, but did he do it because he wants to save them and make them better, or did he do it to try to make her look bad?
Experimentation.
Yep.
That's the other
Oh, yeah.
another reason.
Because he's Brain.
He's Brain. He's
He's
doing
like,
an
I'm going to
experiment.
save this one and add poison.
He's doing an experiment with a control group and a solution. And if he tries it again, different control group, different solution.
I personally think he's doing it because he's trying to make her look bad.
I just like the monster upgrade ideas.
Well, normally the monsters explode, and then that's the end of them, because when their little numbers start floating away, like
Yeah.
the eyeballs in Pac-Man.
That's what they did in the first 8 episodes I saw,
Yeah.
and I like that.
Well,
this
they
one
keep doing it.
got brought back, upgraded, and then finally destroyed.
This isn't the first time that's happened.
Realistic, I was about to say, the only one I remember that ever came back, it wasn't even him that came back. Remember the one that had like the computer program,
and the part fell off of him
Yeah, it
when
was
he
the
blew up.
electrical bad guy. That
Right.
was when they brought in Technic.
And when he came back, it was kind of more like a copy of his program. It wasn't really him.
Right, it's not something unheard of, but they're going more and more, and we've now heard the phrase "the promised number" throughout the show, as if only a certain number of Roid mutes are supposed to make it to the end.
Only 7 Roid moods may go into heaven.
And Medic's excuse when a Roid mute dies is, well, obviously they weren't one of the promised number. That if they were, they would have won. So
I foresee Hart turning on her when he figures out all the twists that she did.
as far as the rest of these 2 episodes, I hate to say it, to me, beyond just the mock portion, his character advancement in this, to me the rest of this was filler. You don't really see much more out of the Roid mutes beyond Brain trying to save somebody. We see Chase laid up in a bed. We see Kiriko actually going and helping him. So we do see that. We see Mad Doctor, but being used to try and save, and she's going behind everybody else's back to do it.
Yeah, this is one of those episodes. It seems like it wasn't a great episode, but down the road, this might be one of those that you had to have to get where you want to go.
Yeah,
Well, it's the very tail end of it. We see the bed that Chase was in is empty, and he's walking down the street. Right after we see, he wanted an upgrade. I made another belt to test with.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put this out there, and I think we're actually, I'm gonna come to Dave last, but we're gonna get our final thoughts on these couple episodes because we're getting really close to our hour. So again, with the cynic, we'll start off with the negativity. So final thoughts on these couple episodes, Coop.
The villain was the best part of the episodes.
Okay, so Roid Mute Mad Cat Battle Mech was good. Okay.
I enjoyed it. I mean, like I said, I like the story with. I actually like the story with Go.
Right.
That his confidence is what makes him who he is.
His story is fine. The problem is just the actual incorporation with the theme of the show, which is cars and upgrades.
So yeah, just the execution of it is what.
I think it's funny. We found your whipping horse, the formula suit.
Yeah,
we
I
found
hate that.
Your
I hate
whipping
the
horse
type.
so far.
I hate the type formula suit. The blue F1 suit that Drive has. I hate it.
It looks awesome.
You lie like a rug. You're wrong. You and Joe Budnick.
I made the phrase that he looks like a Generation 1 Transformer stuck in mid-transformation.
It looks like a core from the Armored Core series.
He does look like
obviously
Jazz,
I have favoritism because of the
you love
chest
Armored
piece
Core.
design.
He looks like
I
Jazz and Mirage
can't-
from Generation 1.
Mirage.
I can't deal with the bulky ass chest plate. I really can't. But anyway.
Roger remembered which one it was.
And that's
think
because
Mirage
I
pretty
like
much.
giant robots. You like superheroes.
So you've seen all the Gundam shit on the shelf, right?
Every Gundam is a very humanoid shape. None of them have the giant the giant angular sleek chest piece.
You should probably watch Gundam Double Zeta. Because it's a bulky ass fucking suit, but I
Do any
like
of them
it.
transform into fighter jets?
Yeah, several of them.
Okay.
I like the episodes. I like Belt-san being more of a Zen kind of Buddhist influence on the heroes and trying to just kind of stay the course and it will come in time.
No, that's because he kind of had his episode moment where he was afraid and angry and anxious.
Right.
And now, ever since then, I never thought about it, but yeah, since then he has been a little bit more professor, advising,
Right.
Yep.
voice of reason. I like that.
He is always
Good
the voice
call.
of reason. Yeah.
I enjoyed these couple episodes again. I think they're filler, but maybe like you said, they're somebody said they're foundation
Yeah,
Or
filler.
something else.
I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
We now know that there is a spare rider belt lying around. So
Yeah, see, your whipping horse in this episode was that. His whipping horse. My whipping horse is they got this great character in the female police officer, Kiriko.
Uh-huh.
And they never do anything with her.
It's Kamen Rider.
And I know, everyone keeps telling me this. Or the other thing is, it's Japan, and females aren't normally the lead heroes, or any type of level hero.
The thing is,
Unless they're
broken that-
Sailor Scout
They've
bull.
broken that a lot of times for some of these Super Sentai shows where
Well-
they actually have had female leads.
Well, but we also have to remember, the show that precedes Drive is Gaim, and they have Kamen Rider Marika, who is a complete badass female rider.
Yeah.
But there's a spare rider belt floating about now. They've given her a rider kit.
You're not getting my hopes up. No, I'm not allowing it. I'm not allowing it. I was for a second there when we were watching. I was like, oh, and I realized no, they're going to give it to Chase. Fuck you, David.
Chase will then have a gun car,
and he has
the Magnum.
So, and it's the same
because he'll have a belt for a car, and he has a gun. So
they have his purple bike. He'll be back on his motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't see his motorcycle and Chase's motorcycle. They come together and make Doom Buggy of Destruction.
Is it full of skulls like Chase's original?
You know what? To be honest with you, I don't remember.
No,
it only happened
really.
once.
It's a combination of the two.
But that was the best thing about his theme.
But his motorcycle still has a skull on the back of the seat.
Yeah, you still see it.
And it still has a skull in the front, too.
Okay.
All right, so
what did you want to
I'm just getting your opinion because, it's another belt. It's the exact same as her brother's.
My opinion is that you're trying to sell me this so that you can laugh at me later. But fuck this show. And it's building my hopes up for,
It's the obvious Chase upgrade.
Is it going to make Dave smile?
No. They gave her boots and red bullets.
Yeah, they actually did give her some superheroic upgrades in an earlier episode.
And she has yet to use the boots since.
Yeah, she has her own rider kick now because her boots actually give her that power now. And every time you see her gun, if you look in the cylinders, you will actually see the bullets are red tipped and they're anti-Roid Mute bullets. So she actually can fight the Roid Mutes herself now. They don't do it very often at all. I don't think they do it often enough. But
I think a few times she has shot the gun to be kind of like a distraction.
Well, and she has used they've shown at least once that her kick is as powerful as a rider kick, because the original when Dead Heat would go batshit and burst, they would go nuts. The only way to get them out of that was to hit them with a finishing move.
And she rider kicked
her brother.
Oh, I thought she did
to get him out of it. No, it was her brother. Okay. Mock knocked Shinosuke out of it.
Sure.
So they've shown that her rider kick is a rider kick, so to speak.
Well, it may not take as much to knock Mock out of it, since he can control it when it goes nuts.
Now
later on,
he did.
He did. Yeah.
No,
I agree. Probably do it better than Shinosuke.
I'm trying to build this female character up, Rich. You're not helping. So, folks,
yay female.
So next time,
it's an obvious chase up.
Yeah.
Next time we are going to be watching more of Kamen Rider Drive. We're trying to blitz through this series so we can move on to Kamen Rider Ghost.
Considering we're only halfway through.
Yeah, we are.
Is Ghost better?
I've watched the first couple episodes of Ghost. I've liked what I've seen. I have interesting story hopes for any show where in the first episode they kill the hero.
I love this show already.
Yeah, the very first episode, the hero gets fucking killed.
Wow.
He gets cut down with a sword in the first episode.
It's called Ghost!
Yeah.
He's a ghost!
Yes, but they've all... it wouldn't be the first freaking time they did false advertising in a Kamen Rider show. Until next time, we've got some more Kamen Rider Drive. This is Mike.
Richie.
Dave.
Travis.
And Roger.
We'll see you next time on Denzicaster.